Hi guys, welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you're not. So I recently completed my emergency fund and it took me a long and stressful 8 months. And while I don't necessarily think building up your emergency fund can be fun, I don't think it should have been as stressful as it was. And so I'm going to share 4 tips with you that I really think will make your experience a lot less stressful than mine. At least 3 of the 4 tips will apply to the majority of the people building up their emergency fund, so let's get right to it. My first tip to you is to figure out how much you really need to save. Now don't let not knowing how much you need stop you from starting. You should absolutely start with whatever you can. I personally have 6 months of living expenses in my emergency fund, and I hear 3 to 6 months recommended a lot. When I did this, I was stuck between 2 numbers. One would cover all of my needs, but none of my wants for 6 months. So I would cover things like rent, utilities, groceries, things that I needed, but none of my wants like subscriptions and going out to eat and things like that. The second number is what I actually spent, and it would cover both my needs and my wants. Now, if I had to use my emergency fund because of a job loss or something like that, I would absolutely cut back on my wants, but I wanted to be on the safe side, and so I went with that second number. Whichever one you decide to go for, pick one and stick with it. If you don't have one picked out from the beginning, you're going to be aiming at a moving target, and that'll cause unnecessary stress. After you know how much you need for your emergency fund, my second tip is to focus on your emergency fund. You can be saving a lot of money, but if it's going towards multiple different things, it'll feel like you're not saving anything at all. It'll be a while before you start noticing any progress, and if you don't have your emergency fund completed, then you might want to wait on saving on other things. You will feel much better having a complete emergency fund than you would having something like a MacBook. The next tip I have for you is to not look at your emergency fund too often. Just like a watch clock never moves, neither does a watched emergency fund. If you keep looking at it and looking at it and looking at it, it's going to seem like it's never going up. And unless somebody is secretly putting money into your emergency fund, it's not going to be any higher than the last time you checked. If you keep looking and looking and looking, you'll be putting yourself under a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety. The fourth and final tip I have for today is to set a monthly goal and respect it. If you have a goal to save $500 a month or $1,000 a month or whatever dollar amount a month and you do it, be happy about it. Don't think about how it could have or should have been more. If you're on track to meet your monthly goal, don't try to cut costs on things that bring you joy. These types of negative thoughts and actions will make your journey miserable, and so respect your accomplishments. I hope these 4 tips make your experience with building your emergency fund a lot less stressful than mine. If you want to learn more about money, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll